Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite warlock here and practicing necromancer. Today, I want to do something a little bit different now that my work week is up and I got 4 days off. One thing I've seen on social media is even those who have come to me personally always want to become rich and famous, but they don't want to work for it. Okay. And or they keep tripping themselves up wondering why they're unable to succeed financially. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're trying to save for, say, retirement, or you're trying to save for an unexpected emergency. Okay, hell, even if you're a parent and you're trying to save for a college fund, maybe that home, whatever. Let's take a look at some stuff here that I think, tip wise, it will help you. Okay. Let's say, for an example, you're a part time employee. You work, say, 3 days a week. Let's go with, let's say, 24 to 25 hours a week. Okay. You're getting paid like 14 an hour, maybe 14.22, depending on the location, because certain companies, they don't pay, everybody the same standards. So you really want to look at where you are positioned. Okay. So let's say, for an example, you work in fast food or you work in the medical field. Let's say, for an example, a dietary aid or a CNA. CNAs can make up to about $21 an hour, if not more. Okay. If you're working in, say, kitchen at a medical facility, you're probably making about 14 an hour. Okay. If you're working at, you know, um, fast food joints like, say, Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's, you're probably making about 14, 15 bucks an hour right now. Okay. So let's say, for an example, you're like I said, you're working about, let's say, 24 hours. Okay. And you're working, say, 14 an hour, so you'd be making roughly about biweekly, probably around $565, and that's after taxes, medical stuff, and all the taxes that they take out of you. Okay, so let's say, for an example, you have rent or a car payment. Let's take a car payment. Let's say most car payments are roughly around $400 to $500. Let's go with about 454. Keep it in the middle. So that will drop you down to roughly around 300. Now, what's ironic is an individual, just say a single person, can live a week, full week on just $100 because you really don't need much to survive. Just the basics like some meats, like say hot dogs or a ham, and then get some pasta, milk and juice, the basics. So, I mean, you really don't need much as an individual. So, you're looking at roughly about $300 left over. So, I mean, that's $200 that you use for the biweekly, and that's also including gas, depending on how far you have to travel. So let's say, for example, you're able to save $100 per paycheck, and you're getting paid twice a month. That's $200 a month. That's roughly about $2,400 a year that you can save. Okay, as long as you don't touch it. That's roughly about roughly around $96,000 a year. Within about 20, but yeah, about roughly that's about 20 years worth of savings, roughly about $96,000. Amazing, isn't it? Now, let's say, for an example, you're a full-time um, employee. You're probably raking in what about $1,500, give or take. Let's say, for an example, 1,500. Okay, 1,500. Okay, per paycheck biweekly. You take your car payment out of that, that drops you down to about 1150, give or take, 1148, whatever. Um, so if you take 400 out of that, okay, you're looking roughly about $2,400 a year. Okay, that's $2,400 a year. Now you times that's $196,000 in 20 years that you have saved. Okay, right there. Okay, like I said, a single individual, you really don't need much. As long as your rent's paid, you got food, stuff like that. Okay, but here it is. In today's world, you can't have a two-bedroom apartment or a home without somebody else being there for you. So unless you have one hell of a freaking paycheck every weekly. So I mean, some jobs, like I said, you're looking at either a weekly paycheck or a biweekly paycheck. So look at it this way: if you're getting a weekly paycheck and you're working full time, that's roughly about anywhere between 1,000, let's say 900 to $1,500 a week, depending on the job. Okay, put some of that aside. Don't even touch it. Okay, if you have a savings account, put it in there. You know, just don't touch it. Put it out of your mind. You'd be surprised how much you can save. Okay, biweekly, like I said, same thing. Take a little bit out, set it aside for the things that matter. Okay, but like I said, now you take, say, for example, most people have a family these days, so you're dealing with two different people. Okay, the husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever. Um, you times those numbers by two, times two. That's what you'll be raking in. That is what you will be saving. Okay. So all this talk on social media about I'm broke, I need money, I need donations, all this stuff. You don't need that stuff. All you need to do is plan. One of the things that will help you is there's apps that you can download and kind of just put aside, hey, like say for an example, Stash or what's that other one? Stash is perhaps one of the best ones because it actually teaches you how to invest your money for, like, say, retirement, unexpected profit, emergencies, even college funds or whatever. Okay, there's a few apps that are out there that is pretty good, and when you're studying finances, there's a couple of things that I found interesting. Like, for an example, a lot of people are only working these days. They're only working for that paycheck. When you go to get a job, people are selling themselves like a piece of meat. It was once described to me, as long as they have a warm body on the floor, bosses are happy. You cause no issues, bosses are happy. But you're working on their dime, but they're giving you a small portion of that income. Let's say, for an example, you are working in fast food, let's say Dunkin' Donuts. They're raking in roughly, let's say, for an example, about 600 cars within a 6-hour period. So that's roughly four to say $20 per car. Okay, so that's roughly, you're looking at least 10 grand a day that they're raking in, and you're getting paid anywhere between about $15 an hour. Back in the 50s, it was basically 30 cents an hour. Today, it's $15 an hour. Now think about that. The system is rigged for the individual. That's what I'll tell you as a tip. In the last 5 years, I've seen how my personal world and my family's world has changed a lot, from jobs to vehicles, to being able to live semi-comfortably. Yes, there's been a few ups and downs, some setbacks, but you know what? It's there. As an archbishop within the occult, the left-hand path, you know, I have my own clients, my own apprentices, you know, but I work just like everybody else. My better half works full time at her job. So look at it this way. If you take these little tidbits of tips, it does not matter where you are in the world. It really does not. You'll be saving and you'll always have money. All right. I want to thank Johnny Richards for jumping on here with me. But I thought I'd just share some tips with you and kind of say, hey, I feel your pain. I used to be just like you, but now here I am, putting together a investment portfolio, and I've been doing some interesting experiments with finance savings. Okay, I've done everything from scratch off tickets to just putting a little bit aside. You'd be surprised what you can do. So if I can do this, even Marcus Aurelius said, if anything is possible for one person, it too is possible for you. That's from his book Meditations, by the way. Very, very good book. But keep in mind that not everybody is out there to play nice. I watched a video earlier today on my lunch break where there was an interview with this guy that was making like $400 trillion a year. He went from 94 billion a year to 400 trillion in 25 years. In 25 years. And the question was, who has it better off? The working class or the rich? Well, the rich are the ones that set the guidelines. Through fear and ignorance, they jack up the prices, and you pay the price for it. Why not learn the system? Why not learn how to make money work for you? That's all I got to say. Have a good night.